A lot of people were caught off guard this week when the markets hit a new all-time high. What they've been doing is they've been ignoring what the charts have been saying is going to happen all along. If you've been paying attention, you shouldn't be surprised at all by what the markets have done. In today's video, I have a trade set up for you. We're going to talk about the markets. I've got a big announcement for you, and I have a free course dropping tomorrow. So let's dive in. Before we jump into any further, I want to remind you that I'm Derek. I am the founder and CEO of the Legacy Profits Club, where I help people build financial freedom through the markets. No gimmicks, no hype, just solid education and base hits. So if you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, because I put regular content out there to help you navigate the markets with clarity and with confidence. Now, let's take a look at the charts. So if you look over here at the SPY chart, let's talk about where we have been. After we hit this low back here at the beginning of April, we have slowly climbed up consistently, and we've been putting in a series of higher highs and higher lows. Now, one of the things that you'll notice is over the last month or so, a lot of these daily candles have been fairly small, which has made trading not the easiest thing to do. But we have not actually broken any of these higher lows, and we have continued to slowly and steadily put in higher highs. So if you've been following this page for the last few weeks, what I've been telling you is we look like we want all-time highs. We look like we're going to hit all-time highs, and we hit all-time highs this past week. And so now the market is sitting at all-time highs. We hit a new all-time high on Friday. Again, it hasn't been the easiest trading, but the trend is your friend, right? The trend is your friend until the end, and we have been in an uptrend. And so it's really, really hard to get bearish. And I always tell people, stop fighting the trend. A lot of people lose money when they're looking to fight the trend. And so if you're looking at longer time frames, look at what the trend is trying to tell you. And this trend is very, very bullish right now. So my bias in the short term, until things change on the chart, is to be bullish. And so some levels that I would be watching, there's no overhead resistance on SPY right now because we are in new all-time high territory. And so therefore, there's no really levels overhead. This could just continue climbing higher. So what we're going to watch and what we're going to focus on until we put in a new higher low, we're going to focus on the most recent higher low. So the support level that you want to watch is right here around 590. 594. So 591.89 is the low that you want to pay attention to. So if we break below that, which is the most recent pivot low, then we could be reconsidering our thesis. But until then, I'm not worried if this gap starts to fill. I'm not worried about anything except for that level. And until that level is broken, I maintain a bullish bias. All right. So QQQ is telling us the exact same story, so there's not a lot really to talk about there, but I will give you the levels. Again, there's nothing going on above it, and so this could continue climbing for, it's not going to climb indefinitely. It will eventually put in a new higher low, but until that happens, I don't really have an upside target on this. On the downside, I would be looking at this low of 523.65 that was put in here on the 23rd of June. So watch that level. As long as we stay above it, my bias remains bullish, okay? And again, this hasn't been the easiest market to trade. Price candles have been fairly small. And what I would just remind you is it's really, really important in difficult trading environments to be patient. Your number one goal as a trader is to preserve your capital and not lose money. And when the market isn't presenting a big edge like it has been kind of intraday for the last several weeks, it's not really presented a lot of intraday edge. What a lot of new traders do is they end up losing a lot of money over trading this market environment and stuff like that. But if you were smart, the last couple of days have been very, very smooth, great trading across a variety of names, typical bull market behavior where you could just kind of pick a stock and ride it up. And if you don't lose money in those more difficult markets, or you don't give a lot of your gains back, you can make your month in just one or two trades. As a matter of fact, last week, our community nailed several really great trades at the end of the week after having a couple of weeks where we didn't really have a lot going on. We were just kind of stacking small wins or even maybe taking some small losses. But if we had forced trades while it was ranging, like a lot of traders do, we probably would not be near as profitable as we have been this month. Okay, so let's talk for just a minute about what my game plan is for this week, okay? My game plan for this week is to be pretty conservative. So the 4th of July week is historically a very low volume week. And so a lot of fund managers are on vacation for the month of July, but especially over the 4th. It's a short trading week. There's only like 3.5 trading days this week. And low volume can be really, really difficult to trade. And so my focus this week is going to be to zoom out, to look at the bigger picture. And I will probably not be doing a lot of intraday trading this week. I will be looking primarily at like my long-term strategies, like selling options and stuff like that. And then also on my swing trading strategies. But I do want to give you one trade idea. Okay. So a stock that I want to put on your radar is VNet. VNet is a Chinese tech company who has been talking a lot about AI. AI has been a theme that's been running quite a bit. And even though they didn't have the best earnings recently, that earnings that they reported was kind of a bottom for them. And they've started a new uptrend. So if you look at the daily chart here, you can see they put in a pivot low here, climbed higher, and then put in a slightly higher low. And then we had a really, really big candle on Friday. And it's important that we talk about why that candle showed up. What they did is they actually offered their guidance on Friday, and they upped their guidance. They increased their guidance for the year, which is important considering the fact that there are tariff talks happening and a lot of companies are not putting guidance out. These guys have put really, really good guidance out. And then on top of that, they did a $50 million share buyback. And the way the market works is basic supply and demand. If they're buying shares, that's taking $50 million worth of shares that people can't buy. And so they're actually lowering the supply on the market. So demand goes up, supply goes down, and the price goes up to match the supply and demand situation. And so this is a really, really good thing that VNet has done. And so let me zoom in and we'll talk about how I would be watching it and how I will be looking to trade it. So here is Friday's price action here. You can see we were trading down at 590 on Thursday, gapped up overnight, and opened up here at about 619. So pretty decent sized gap up. And the important thing to see is we had a big trend day. And so price closed very, very strong on Friday. So now what will I be watching for? The main thing that I'll be watching for is I want to see if this gap continues to hold. So there's a couple of different ways that you can play this. Using the 5-minute chart, what I would like to see happen is I would like to see a bread and butter trade set up. Bread and butter trade is something that's one of my favorite setups. I will be looking kind of at the opening range. And the expectation after a day that we had on Friday would be that on Monday, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest, that we get some continuation beyond Friday's price action. So if Friday's high was up here at 705, I would expect eventually that we're going to break that 705. It might take a day or two of consolidation, or it might just rip on Monday. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm basically looking for an opportunity to trade continuation. This could be in the form of a swing trade where we wait for maybe some consolidation or a pullback to get in and ride that a little bit higher and take some scaled profit on the way out. Or what you can do is you can look at the opening range and kind of set the first 15 minutes of an opening range, or watch a level that the price continues to tap over and over and over again. And once that range breaks, you can buy the break out of that range, trail your stop at, I like to use VWAP as a trail, and also to kind of gauge the risk. So the downside risk being VWAP, with the upside risk being my profit-taking strategy that I teach on the bread and butter trade. You can go and you can watch that video on your own. I've got that on there for you for free. But I wanted to put that stock on your radar because it does definitely interest me this week. Okay, so now for some big news before we move on from here and in this video. So I've been slow dripping for a while on this channel, a full Trading 101 course for a few weeks now, and the final video drops tomorrow. So I've got it loaded already as a playlist that's going to be linked to this video so that you can watch my full course here on YouTube for free in order over on the playlist that will pop up at the end of this video. I've also got it available for download on my website, so there's a link in my video description. You can download that course. You can watch it in your own time. And that's not all, actually. I have a big announcement that is coming up tomorrow to help you find financial freedom without the typical $800 or $1,000 courses or the empty promises of Rolex wearing frauds out there. I'm talking about daily trade ideas. I'm talking about in-depth education on every trading strategy that I use for as little as like 50 cents a day. All right. So if you're not subscribed to my newsletter, I would encourage you to do that. That is also a free resource that I offer every single week. Go and do that at the link in my bio so you can have all of the information about my upcoming announcement. All of this stuff is to help you level up for free with the option to support the work that I do and get some bonus stuff for doing that as well. So thanks for watching. Drop a comment with the top names that you're watching this week, and let's crush it this week. All right. I'll see you later.